So, I was thinking about something, and that something is Firefight, and how it's not an infinite yet. So, for the unaware, Firefight was a game mode that would pit you, the player, and 3 other players against waves of enemies for as long as you could hold out, and you would get more skulls for each set you completed, making it more difficult over time. It also had a life limit you shared with your teammates, so things would definitely get tense with friends if someone was dying a lot, and it was a great game mode in retrospect that was just a lot of fun. Its first introduction in ODST made it a bleak, futile battle against the Covenant. What's to come in Reach was far different of a firefight. Halo Reach decided to make Firefight much more of an arcade experience, where you can make yourself invincible, give yourself rockets, choose what enemies would and wouldn't spawn. It was just far more customizable. But it lost a lot of the charm that ODST brought, that made it just feel like that battle of survival. And before we talk about our favorite PvE mode more, I have some favors to ask of y'all. If you guys end up enjoying the video, would you drop a like and then drop kick the like button? And then if you wanted to be a nice guy, take it to the hospital, but disconnect it from the heart rate machines. And then drop a sub if you want to see more content like this, and comment what you guys would like to see after this. So, with a brief run through of the history of Firefight, why hasn't it returned to Halo? Games like Gears of War had a great horde mode that people still continue to play even in Gears 5 today, you and 3 other players just going against progressively harder AI. And another game that had a successful horde mode that came into its own was Call of Duty and its Zombies game mode, and that ended up getting its own story and unique set of gameplay features. So why did Halo not continue to cultivate its Firefight, especially when the fans loved it and it had great potential for the replay value of the game? That I don't have the answer to. But what I do have the answer to is why Halo Infinite should have a Firefight game mode. So where does this idea come from, besides it being in the game in the past? Well, about 3/4 through the way of the main story, right before you go to confront Escharum for the first time and he tests you, you will fight 3 arenas, each having 4 waves of enemies that progressively get harder. And does that sound familiar enough to you guys? That's right, they literally plant the formula of Firefight into the game as if to tease us. And why would they tease us with a section like that? Just to not have Firefight in the game, even though the gameplay lends itself to blend what ODST had of the oppressive difficulty of fighting overwhelming odds with Halo Reach's more arcadey feel with the level of customization. And you may be asking, how could you do that? And that would be like through the Valor System. So, the Valor System is the system within the campaign that allows you to spawn core stuff at your fobs, and you earn Valor points through doing world objectives and main missions and stuff like that. But what if each set/wave you would receive Valor points, allowing for you to spawn more powerful equipment, maybe even be able to spawn some AI Marines in to help you, and just using it to act as an unlock/progression system. Or you could do what COD Zombies did and give you points for each damage or kill you do, and then this would allow you to buy your equipment. And there are many paths that this could go, and hell, I think it'd even be able to be cool to buy Spartan cores so you can upgrade your Spartan abilities. It has a lot of potential to be able to blend and harmonize, but not only that, but evolve Firefight into a new, cooler game mode for Halo Infinite. The enemies were so fun in the campaign to fight, and the gameplay loop is just so tight that if I'm killing real players or if I'm killing AI, it all just feels the same fun to me. And I would like to say that just it'd be able to have the enemies shine in their roles and allow for more tight fight encounters that you wouldn't have in the open world, and that these would tickle your fancy if you didn't like the open world combat. I already kind of touched on how I would like to do an infinite firefight, but let me lay it out exactly right here how I'd want the firefight to work. I would want it to be able to be played solo or with 3 other players like we've been able to in the past. Like in the MCC, I think that they should have that level of customization available for anyone to be able to make up their own fun game modes. But I also would think it'd be amazing to see Forge opened up to be able to make firefight maps. Modders are able to do combat encounters in MCC, so why can't we just choose a few spawn points for enemies to spawn in Forge maps? And I think outside of that, I think custom game modes, there should be 3 game modes for matchmaking Firefight. One should be a classic mode where it's like the ODST Firefight, no armor abilities, fighting against waves of enemies through sets and getting skulls that make it more difficult as you go, and there should be a live counter. An arcade mode where there's a wacky, fun game modes that just, It's just fun. You just go around, you're in there to screw around, you get a lot more power weapons than what you would have gotten in the ODST mode, and you're also able to use your Spartan abilities and potentially upgrade them with Spartan cores if they decide to go through with that. You could also flip Firefight on its head. Instead of being wave based, make it score based and make it a race to a certain score. That would be a turn on Firefight that we haven't had. And then I think that there should be a third that does something with the Valor system, kind of like I said, where you earn points to buy things. You could maybe even be able to buy AI teammates, Spartan cores, things like that. And then it's like the classic Firefight, just with those additions of the Valor point system. As for difficulty, I think in a private match you should be able to set it on whatever difficulty you'd like, but in a public match it should probably just be standard for it to be set to heroic. And right there I think you have a solid, infinitely replayable wave mode that channels what made Firefight popular and adapting it to the new game. So what do you guys think of Firefight and Infinite? Did you guys get the similar feeling that I did when you got to that part in the campaign? Do you think that 343 should take time to add Firefight, or do you think that there's other more pressing problems? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Drop a like if you'd like to see more content like this. That's how you let me know, and it also boosts me in the algorithm. And drop a sub. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Stay safe, and peace.